Oh damn! Look at those markets. Shoot, that's crazy. Anyways, so I kind of wanted to talk about just what my thoughts are on specifically. I think the biggest thing is just Buffett selling or Warren Buffett selling Apple. In the past few days, he sold more than 55% of the stake in his stake in Apple, and also his continuous selling on Bank of America. First of all, I just want to say I'm really annoyed because I had puts on Bank of America that expired worth this because I bought weeklies when I should have bought monthlies. So if I had bought monthlies, that would have been up like 500%. But life, life. Anyways, so I think people might be, in my opinion, I think people might be misconstruing or what I guess what his actions are. Um, it is possible that he does see like the markets are over leveraged and everything, and they just want to move the cash. But I think there might be a different thing, based off of what he says in his books and what he says in his articles, not articles, letters, in his letters to shareholders. Um, he really cares for an outsized return, right? For example, every dollar invested, you should get $1.20 or a dollar like more than a dollar back, right? He cares about that, and he also really cares about a durable competitive moat, right? A durable competitive advantage, right? So basically, just having a moat. Um, I think so. Let's first talk about Bank of America, right? Why is he selling? So I talked about this earlier, but then Bank of America. Give me a second. Yeah. So right here, there we go. So I talked about this earlier, but they increased their provision for credit losses by 400 million, right? So the thing about banks is what I realized Buffett doesn't like investing in like really scary like I guess over leveraged or high risk banks, right? So the fact that Bank of America increased their provision for credit losses by $400 million, right? They increased it from 1.1 to 1.5 billion. That's that's a really that's a large percentage difference, right? I What is that, 33%? Is that right? Yeah, 33%. About a third, right? So like, oh no, a fourth? Sorry. They increased it by a third. So, yeah, they increased it about by a little bit more than a third, right? So like that kind of shows that Bank of America probably was doing something risky, and I think Warren Buffett didn't really like that, which is why he's selling it. He's selling so much, right? Like this is a large increase in provision for credit losses. If you don't know, I'm sure you do, but just to explain, provision for credit losses is basically the money that a bank sets aside as insurance, or not really as insurance, but like as a as a just in case fund for when people default on loans or when people default on like credit cards, right? So the fact that they're increasing it by 400 million means that Bank of America, they're forecasting that they'll probably need to dip into those funds by a substantial amount, right? By more than a third of what they had before. That's a crazy amount. Like that's a crazy percentage difference. And I think that Warren Buffett just didn't really like that. And he also like this is probably like what he sees as the canary in the coal mine for just I guess the state of the economy, people worrying about people defaulting on credit cards, right? As I said in the previous as I said in the previous video, SoFi, on the other hand, they said that they are on the opposite end, right? And that their credit losses are actually going down. And why the hell is SoFi stock going down as well? I don't know, but like SoFi on the other hand is like super safe, right? At least management believes them to be super safe, and like they're not worried at all about about I guess they're not it's not that they're not worried at all, right? But like they are definitely not as worried about credit losses because they see that um basically um based off of data, uh more people are probably probability wise more people are going to pay off their loans like in a timely manner, right? Now the other thing is also Apple, him selling half of his stake in Apple. I think what has to do with here, right, is Apple increasing their dividend, right, by 4%. So the only real reason why a growth company will increase their dividend is when they stop growing, right? Think about it. So what Warren Buffett wants is he wants a company where if you give a dollar or when you invest a dollar into it, you get $1.25 back in return. Or you get $1.50, you get $2 back in return, right? But when a company starts increasing their cash dividend, it means that they're rotating from being a growth company to becoming more of just like a company just to like not a growth company anymore, right? It's just kind of like a value company at that point, right? So that's where I kind of see why Warren Buffett might be one of the reasons why I think he's decreasing his stake in Apple. The other thing is also I don't know if maybe you've experienced this, but I feel like a lot of people I guess back like maybe like a few years like maybe 10 years ago, um Apple's entire moat was just their entire ecosystem, right? First of all, their ecosystem, and second of all, their what is it called? Their brand, right? Like it's different from if you buy a iPhone versus if you buy like a Samsung or an Android, right? And Apple really capitalized on that, right? There's a lot of Apple fanboys who will never buy anything other than an Apple, right? But I feel like that sentiment is actually diminishing, and I think Warren Buffett kind of sees the writing on the wall, and sees that more like basically Samsung is getting more market share, Huawei is getting more market share. I'm sure like even though Huawei isn't in America, right, but it's in other places. Like all these other like Pixel is getting more market share, right? And I think that he also sees that I guess Apple is not really growing as much, right? You see like I guess their attempt at doing AI, right, that failed. Their attempt at doing the car, right, that failed. Um, and now like especially after Investor Day, right? WW or what was it? Worldwide WW's World WWDC Worldwide Developer Conference. Yeah, Apple's WWDC. Like that was, in my opinion, that was really lackluster. Their goggles or like their what is it? Apple's Oculus. I forgot what it's called. That's also like not doing that well, right? I think he sees that Apple's moat is shrinking, because if like I think what he bought Apple on was the same reason why he bought Coke, right? It's something recognizable, something worldwide recognizable, and you'll much rather grab a Coke than you will grab some off-brand um like I don't know, Walmart brand. I think he's invested in Walmart, but like some Walmart brand cola, right? Because people recognize that logo and they recognize, oh, they have a secret formula that I've come to love, and that's why he really likes Coca Cola, right? Because of this almost impenetrable moat, which is their trade secret formula and also just their brand name. People recognize it, right? But Apple, on the other hand, if you stop being a growth company and you become a value company, and then at the same time your moat is shrinking because less and less people actually care about whether or not they have an Apple versus a Pixel versus a Huawei versus a Samsung, a Galaxy, right? Then Apple's moat is shrinking. Of course, there is the possibility, right? Like everyone, like all the fun, like all the like fear mongering news articles are saying, oh, Warren Buffett is going into cash. He's worried about the economy, right? I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, like he kept a lot of other stocks, right? He's only been selling Apple, and he's been selling Bank of America, right? And those two, as I just showed you, right? Those two have like possible reasons, right? Obviously, these aren't for sure. These are just my guesses as to why he's selling, right? But everyone is thinking, oh, it's because he's just worried about a recession. I don't think so, or else he'd be selling other stuff as well. I think what really is important to look at is what does he do after Occidental's earnings report that comes out this week, right? Let's see, Oxy earnings date. Earnings date. Let's see, where is it? When is it? Yeah, on the 7th, right? So that's on Wednesday. I think we really have to look at what is Warren Buffett gonna do with Occidental Petroleum, right? Because they are an energy company. So if he sells this as well, this is straight up just this. I'm pretty Most energy stocks I'd say are inherently just value stocks because you're just watching them there's not really any way you can grow other than just like right, like there's no like really growth or like no real like risk involved in in what is this? In what am I trying to say? In energy stocks, right? But if he actually is like he's just worried about the economy, right? Like energy stocks are always going to go down, right, with the economy because if there's less economic activity, there's less people using energy, right? So then this will go down. So if he does, so basically, what I'm saying is, if he starts selling oxy, then we're screwed. Then Warren Buffett thinks we're screwed, right? But if he doesn't, then I think we're fine, right? We're in the clear. Um, Obviously, he's not going to confirm or deny. He said that a lot, right? But definitely, I think this is what we want to look out for. Um, he also has like because like he also like he didn't sell any of his other companies, right? It's only just Bank of America and I think he sold Paramount too, but that was just because Paramount. He also sold some other stocks like a while back, but like nothing as crazy as what he's doing with Bank of America and Apple. And I think that's more because of their earnings report, right? Rather than what he thinks of the overall economy. So let's just see what happens at Oxy. Uh, I think that will give us more insight into what he thinks. Otherwise, I think with a lot of people are saying that, or some people are saying that the market sell off is because basically Japanese people or the Japanese uh, population, they're over leveraged into American stocks, and um, basically with their rate cuts, with them getting rate increases, right, rate hikes, then people have less money to spend, right? And then basically exactly what happened to us back in 2022, 2021, late 2021, it's happening with Japan, right? So I think what I'm doing is what I'm thinking, right, is maybe we'll see actually continue this rotation out of mega caps, right? Because like for example, like if you live in Japan, if you live in any other country, right, you know the big names, right? You know Microsoft, you know Nvidia, you know Apple, you know Amazon, right? But you don't know the growth stocks, right? Thankfully. So if there's no one selling, or if there's no one selling, right? I mean, like obviously there will be people selling, right? But like the people that are forced to sell, right, which is I think a lot of Japanese people right now because of the interest rate hikes, those people probably don't have that much exposure to the IWM or IWC, IWN. I think it's IWN to the Russell, right, to the smaller caps. I think those will be hit lot less hard than these mega caps that are basically globally known. That's just my thoughts and that's just my opinions. Obviously, any black swan could occur at any moment, right? And I could be completely screwed over. But I mean, like, I don't know. I just feel that when everyone assumes a recession is coming, a recession is probably not gonna come. That's just what I think, right? It's it's weird logic, but I just think I don't know. It I think it should be fine. I do believe in the American economy. Of course, I still think Bitcoin is stupid. That drop is like I'm maybe I'll have another video later, but I'm just like makes sense that it'll drop what 15K in a week. My goodness, it's so useless. Anyway, sorry, I'll rant about that later. But yeah, so I think the biggest thing, look at what he does at Oxy. If he starts selling Oxy on Thursday and Friday, bruh, bruh, Warren Buffett seen something, and I don't think, and that's something that ain't good. So look out Thursday, Friday. Look out for what he does with Oxy. I guess that's the main gist of it. Otherwise, I mean, honestly, I don't like Apple either, and like their moat is obviously shrinking. I think Warren Buffett sees that. Bank of America increasing your provision, but for credit losses by 400 million. That is a lot. That is crazy. Like you don't understand like the sheer like scope of how big that problem might be. Like people are saying that Bank of America might be too big to fail. If you're increasing it by 400 million, that's kind of scary. But that just means more clients for SoFi Technologies. All right, have a good one. Stay safe. Don't over leverage. Don't like go ham on like one stock, right? Stay safe. Don't be stupid. Don't do anything stupid. Don't listen to any random financial guru on YouTube or on TikTok, right? I'm just giving you my thoughts, right? I'm a freaking idiot. I'm still invested in SoFi. Dude, but hey, that earnings report was freaking so bullish. So bullish. And like honestly, just better opportunity to buy in my opinion. Too bad I don't have any more funds because I wasted it all before the. It's a struggle. I have a good one. Bye.